Audio.
Okay, I hear you.
Beautiful. Good?
Okay, I see you. But
See
I can't
me?
hear
No?
you.
Okay, got it.
Here. There you
Beautiful. Good?
go. You see me okay?
I see you perfectly. You see me okay? Unfortunately?
No, you look real good.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Trying to keep up, Miss Wolchek.
I just got done. I just got done doing another Zoom with a lady in North Carolina for a different story, and man, she had the most beautiful connection. I mean, it looked like HD. It was beautiful. My picture looks like
AOL.
grainy.
Me too. AOL. It looks like AOL. Yeah. Yeah. No delay, unfortunately. At least you could blame something. It's the pixels.
Yeah,
Not
it
anymore.
is what it is. So,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
So I'm going to start recording here in a minute. So basically, before we get started,
Mhm.
This lady, you gave her a loan, right?
Correct. So my company's a merchant. I apologize. A merchant cash advance.
You know, I'm going to start recording. We gotta keep it to about 15 minutes because if it goes longer than that, it takes me forever to download it.
Understood.
I'm not the king of Zoom either.
Yeah. No, I'm not even the queen. I'm not even the crown prince.
Yeah, well, it's pretty cool technology, and we used to have to, like, if I wanted to interview you, I'd have to have somebody from WNYW
Come down.
to New York come out.
Wow.
And shoot the interview.
Wow.
Which was actually cool.
Yeah.
But it was a lot more hassle. This makes it nice and easy.
That's it. Soon none of us will even move, my friend. None of us.
Okay, so hang on. And recording.
I said, got it. I acknowledged it.
Okay, good. All right, so you acknowledged it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, fantastic.
Beautiful.
Okay, and it's Andrew.
Yes, Samuel.
Samuel. Well, that's a cool name. What's
Thank
Andrew
you.
stand for?
Sure. So I'm Egyptian, okay, and I'm a Coptic. So my I've been here since I was about a year old. And I'm the third. I'm the third of three, obviously. And so my parents always named somebody a biblical name. So Andrew is how it sounds in Arabic when you say Andrew. So they spelled it literally as if it sounds. It rolls off that way. So it's.
So are you from Cairo?
Yes. My parents are from Cairo, both my parents. But yeah, I'm 28 years old. So and I've been here since I was a year and a half. So as far as I can remember.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. Well, I've always looked at Cairo, Egypt. I've never been there, but it looks like such a that delta is so incredible, especially in the satellite photos. It's like there's nothing, and then
listen.
The line of the Nile. It's pretty spectacular looking.
Yeah, I mean, look, Egypt, the pyramids of Egypt, the pyramids of Giza. I'm sorry, the pyramids of Giza in Egypt. They're actually in the exact center of Earth, both in longitude and latitude. And this is before. Yes, and this is before we had. They say we had the ability to calculate longitude. How do you figure out where you are on the Earth? You don't have what's your reference? So there's many theories behind that. But I went too young. I didn't appreciate it like I would if I was older. Coming from New York, there. Yeah. Of course.
Okay, all right. So
Thank you.
Let's start talking about this. So all right, so you run a business in New York,
Yes.
and it's a lending business.
Sure.
Tell me how you came across this lady.
Absolutely. So my company's a merchant cash advance business, which basically provides business owners nationwide with access to capital just based on revenue. We do not have any kind of personal guarantees, no what they call COJ, certificate of judgments, and we don't have any kind of asset to secure the transaction. Rather, what we do is we average your gross earnings per month, and then we project a common projection, which that you'll continue to do based on a certain period of time of review, the same amount, if not plus or minus a certain percentage. So what we do then is we advance you that much. So for example, you're making $100,000 a month in gross. I'll provide you $120,000 within 24 hours, no questions asked. I don't have to have you guarantee the use of funds. As long as you maintain this weekly payment, we have no problem. I mean, and by the way, you're not guaranteeing anything either. This is not a loan in the sense that you're paying back interest on money. Rather, I'm purchasing on paper the rights to those future earnings, which are all potential. So when you buy them back for more than what you've actually received, because you're paying me back more for the money, or you're paying me back more for the cost of that receivable, of the rights to them, without us controlling your accounts, you're saying I just received 120,000, but I paid back 140, so I just lost 20,000 because the 120 is what I said it was worth. Otherwise, why would I take the 120? So it's a loss. So there's ways of deducting that and benefiting the client. So it's quick capital without any kind of real, yes. So without any kind of real personal liability.
My wife had a business years ago, and there were times when we needed
everybody,
liquidity.
of course.
Yeah,
You don't even need the money to survive. It's not even always about that. You know.
Yeah, it's whatever. You need to buy stock. You need $15,000. I think my wife took out a couple of quick loans like that.
Margin call, yeah, margin call.
You pay them off, and that's that.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you hear from this lady?
Sure. So we have employees. So at the time, so this is right after the pandemic. Okay, it was the worst possible time to meet this woman on the period. And the reason is that this is a file that we don't normally do. What I mean by that is she was making under a certain amount, and that amount is nothing but a problem. Because that problem is always that somebody who's in a position to take that short of a small amount.
You break it up.
I apologize. So the issue with the individuals that don't make over a certain amount each month on a consistent basis is that they're more likely to default, regardless of how little the offer is. So we stay away from that because it's a heartache without any real benefit. I'm being honest. Now the reality is this is after the pandemic. So my agents, number one, were taking everything and anything that they could possibly put together options for. Not because it was, they would have discarded it before, but they were paying extra attention to everything. So this is a file we would have never done. And if we did it, we would have definitely had to charge a fee because it costs us money to process. The officer on Wall Street for a reason. And they're on Wall Street not because we're trying to flaunt the capital, no, or the money. It's the opposite. Our employees, 60% of our entire set of people are independent contractors. So the only thing that they see is a perception of where you are. And when I started in this business, I had nothing. Okay, I started school at a very young age, 15. I've had my trials and tribulations, ups and downs. But I had nothing when I started in this business. The same office that I took over, 160 Pearl Street, on the Pearl and Wall, is the same building that I couldn't afford to get to work to. I ended up having that floor. So the best thing about what I do is that I really genuinely love seeing people grow, because this is a confidence game, okay? Period. People need the capital. They have to be confident that you're the guy that not just will provide it immediately, but you'll be the guy that they can rely on long term. Okay, it's not a one night stand. Done. No, next. Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize.
This lady, all right, so
Done.
it's right after the pandemic.
And
she contacts one of your agents.
Sure.
And she says, what does she say she does for a living?
Absolutely. So we reach out to her. Okay, our agents have many brokers that send us files for people that have in some way inquired and shown interest in receiving capital. So we had reached out to her via phone call or via email initially, and once we made contact, the agents and her discussed potential use of capital and its benefit to her. So what we did was we proceeded with the application process. The agent had filled everything out. The client sent back their bank statements. They filled out our online application. We processed the file, and we ended up funding her. Okay, so she wasn't. This is not. We don't crucify somebody based on the past. Okay, but the reality is though, if you have an opportunity to make a difference and you have a second chance, this really is not an opportunity for you to take someone else's chances away or opportunities away. So it's no. So we had engaged with her in business in a standard fashion, completed the transaction, and had no issues up until that point.
Okay, and you gave her what, 6,000?
No, we gave her no. As a loan, we gave her approximately 5,000. As a loan, that has nothing to do with the 6,000. Yes.
Okay, so where does this $6,000 check come in?
Sure. So the documents that I sent over to Ken, Mr. Martinek, the documents that I submitted, they show the documentation from Austin Business Finance, which was the company that my company had a contractual arrangement with. So we provided a client outside of this arrangement capital, just like we provided Miss Dixon capital. So when we provide capital, we have a certain percentage of earnings. We're a business. So the earnings were due on the transaction. The monies were supposed to be sent to an account, but we received a new account. Okay, it's right after the pandemic. We were moving a lot of things, separating things around. So we opened a new account for the company. It's an account right across the street from the office, Chase. So what occurred was at the same time we had a new administrator. Okay, again, this is right after the pandemic. Things changed. We had just funded Ms. Dixon, maybe about 48 hours prior. So when we fund the client, we get from them a voided check, a copy of their voided check, and a driver's license, a voided check for their business and a driver's license. So we can confirm that this is the correct account the money goes to, right? Now, so what occurred was when that happened, her check was saved in a file that had her name on it. Now, it was also in our recent downloads for the administrator's computer because we had just funded her. So we downloaded from where? From our email. So it was on our recent downloads. The checks look strikingly similar. I have no problem sending you guys a copy of the check. They look amazingly similar, except for the name, on the check. That's a big difference. It's a whole nother story, right? That's a different story. But so that in error, she had sent to our partner, Austin Business Finance, Miss Dixon's company voided check. Now, a couple days go by. I'm waiting for a payment, and I have to pay the agent. Now, the agent was a manager who had a person under him. So he's a senior advisor. He had an advisor under him. Their split is 50% of earnings. On this transaction, I have to pay out $3,000 out of pocket on that Friday because it's not their problem. It's my problem. It's not their problem. The agents. So of course, so period. So we paid I paid the client, I paid the agents out, and then a couple of days go by, I call my partner, Austin Business Finance. I'm like, hey, by the way, when is the money coming out of curiosity? I have to pay the agent out of pocket. And he's like, what do you mean? It's been sent. You should have it. Confirmation a couple minutes later, found out the money was sent, wrong account. So, not a problem, I said. Not a problem. It's Ms. Dixon? Oh my goodness. Not because I thought anything of her at the time, but because I said she just got more by mistake than she got on purpose. So that frightened me tremendously. So this went on with so I didn't get involved because I didn't want to escalate it too quickly. There's no reason. I thought this is just a decent thing as human beings would do because I would never have fun. I would have never authorized my agent to proceed.
Mm-hmm. So hang on. Let me just ask you. So
sure.
Did she get a
wire?
Another check?
Wire.
So
yeah.
Right into her account.
We have the wire confirmation. Ken has it. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. So she just opens up her bank one day.
Boom.
And instead of 5,000 being in there, there's now 11,000.
Sure. I mean, she got funded a couple days prior. So yeah. So whatever she still had remaining. Correct.
So whatever.
Sure.
She got $6,000
plus
deposited into her account that she wasn't supposed to get.
For sure.
Okay, so you contact Ms. Dixon, and you said, hey, we made a mistake, and you got this extra money, and we need it back. Sorry for your inconvenience, and we didn't mean to get you excited. And what does she say? Very simply,
she said, I'm fully blessed. She used every reference to the higher being that you can imagine, and she said that she would be more than happy to send it back. Now, this, by the way, we had trouble contacting her first, in the beginning. It took us a few attempts. So already that's what got us a little concerned. So our approach was very simple. Listen, when we dropped our wallet right in front of you, you saw that we dropped it. We turned around and said, by the way, that's our wallet. You picked it up. And you said, okay, give me a few minutes. Or there's never a single question. Even in the police report, she admits fully that the money is not hers, it's ours, and that the only thing she required of us was a document from our attorneys, which we had 2 law firms pursue this. So it's because they send demand letters, so which mean nothing. So we had verification that she received it. So once she said that to the officer, he was telling me he's in the homicide division, so he deals with really serious things. I went to division in Jersey City where one of our servers are located. Because New York didn't. I called New York. New York was like, "No, we'll send you a cop in 2-3 hours."
I gotcha. I deal with fraud stuff all the time, and the cops don't have time for it. That's why I do it.
Oh, so I thank you for that.
Yeah. So this lady, she is in Southfield, and what's her name? Her name
Tonicida Dixon.
Okay. And she told you more than a year ago, I'm going to give you the money back, but she hasn't given you the money back.
Absolutely, no question in the world. She said it a million times. It didn't ever come to the point where I'm not going to give it to you. Period. It came to the point where, okay, I need this paperwork, this paperwork, this paperwork, this paperwork. We haven't gotten it yet. This, her bank, the individual at her bank was absolutely, incensed by the entire interaction because it was all set up to be done. She had claimed to go to the bank to do it, but none of it actually occurred. It's a complete fraud. She was just delaying. But you gotta understand, I'm not, I do numbers for a living, so I know that this money's not going to exist. So at this point, I actually offer her, a way out. I said, look, if you don't have the money, no problem. Okay, let's work on it. All right, I need you to understand we'll make a payment plan because what I was telling what the advisor was going to be, what I told her, which is untrue, but I wanted her to see if she had some kind of human decency, is that the individual responsible for this was going to be paying this money back, and that individual could not afford to pay the money back. And she had absolutely no interest whatsoever. Now the problems and what's pushing it now is that we know this is not gonna, we're never gonna get our money back from this lady. It's done. At this point, it's very clear. We did everything that we could to deal with her in a human, in a civilized, respectful fashion. And now it comes to the point where now I realize she's blatantly stealing from me to my face. And at the same time, here's the real important thing. My company gets thousands and thousands of applications a month, thousands. Now, those applications all contain the most sensitive information we possess in this country, period. Everything that identifies us and our business. Now, she does taxes, same thing. The difference is, my company uses a GDPR compliant platform and also a HIPAA compliant platform. Both of them are not required in the United States. GDPR is not compliant in the US, neither are HIPAA for financial documents. But we take that extra step in order to ensure the potential, to mitigate any potential and offset any consequence if it ever occurs, period, which it should never occur. This is a standard security platform used around the world. The point is, this individual seems like they're at the end of the rope because they stole from us and paid us back using their money. We're using our money. That's the ironic thing, The money that she received was less than the money she got from us by mistake, so she paid us off early. That's the funny thing. So pretty good.
So you did get paid back the initial loan, though, correct?
Correct.
All right. So
we can't mix them.
This is a thing where you guys messed up. Somebody messed up.
Correct.
And she promised to give the money back, and you guys have hired attorneys. You've made police reports. You've played nice
repeatedly.
And now it's a year later, and
I have tax liability.
Yeah, so now it's causing you a bunch of problems because you're going to have to do different tax things. It looks like you got the money, whatever, all this. And then, but one, you haven't gotten your money. And two, you're concerned that she runs a tax business and she's not an honest person.
Listen, when she referenced her Lord and her God, and also mentioned something pretty private, which I won't mention, which I had no knowledge about, for her to say that about money that I know she has, that she says she has, that she said belongs to me, and then understands that listen, we lost 2/3 of our company during the pandemic. I had 2 offices on Wall Street. We lost a lot of people. We lost a lot of business. And something, we haven't defaulted a single company. That's something I can guarantee, period. This is recorded. Not a single company did Sphynx Capital or nextdaywire.com default, period. And by the way, most of our clients are not like this. The ones that have disappeared are not this category. This is something else. We have not defaulted any clients, period. But the people that we deal with that have hardship, see that our approach is very simple. You're not going to make any payments, period, if you cannot make the payments, period. So our approach is to use what we call a specified percentage, which is the percentage agreed to. So in the contract it says we'll take 10% of your cash flow per day, which equates or per week. That's what equates your payment. Now, when you have hardship, we use that in the former, where it gives you an opportunity to take that 10% and apply it to what you're earning now. So it allows you.
So basically, what you're saying is you're a decent guy. You run your business.
We have obligations.
You understand that people make mistakes or they have problems or whatever. You have a heart, and she appears to be pretty heartless. She's not helping you at all. She's lying to you.
If she would do this to my face, what would she do with your information 10 years from now if she, if another, I don't understand how you could even be in a position to possess social security numbers when you don't have the ability to vote if you're a felon. I mean, I don't understand how that works, because, it's a pretty,
You can vote in Michigan as a felon.
Oh, you can, so I apologize, I take that back. Not that there's a problem with that, I'm just saying, like, this is personal info.
I get it. She probably is running. It's probably not a very good tax business.
Even if it is, guess what? It may not. What happens when it closes?
Yeah.
Where's your information then?
Yeah. Okay. So you want me to go and hunt her down and say what's going on? Why haven't you paid this guy?
I want you to do whatever you think needs to be done, and I'm the only one that can determine that is you. But I just want you to get the job done, Rob. Whatever you can do, and if anything, you can save somebody else from. Listen, we're never. The likelihood of her paying us anything back is abysmal. Okay, but the reality is this is so egregious that at the very least it should be a factor in anyone's decision making when providing them with their personal information. When you're paying them and you're providing them with your personal information. You have to understand the consequences that may exist when you do so. The point isn't whether or not it may or may not happen. The point is, why are you in a position where it could happen? This is not a monopoly. You have other options.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good deal. Well, that sounds. I'm all for warning people about bad people, and she sounds like a bad person. She's got a felony. I think she's on probation now. Yeah, she's. I'll get her. So I can't guarantee I'll get you your money back.
No. Don't worry. No, that's not something I think anybody will guarantee. Don't worry about that.
Now, so Ken was mentioning that he didn't see a text that said, "I'll give you the money back directly." Do you have a text that says that?
Yeah, in the police report, what it says is that she says that she's at the bank. For the text say that, but I'll break them down and highlight them because the question was never about sending it. It was about making sure that you're the right guy, and that was the term.
Make sure that I have that because, if I can confront her with her own documents, will you say here, you told the police officer that you were going to pay him back and you haven't?
Sure, I'll highlight it all.
Okay, so give me whatever I can have to nail her. Make sure I have that. And also, what was it that you were saying something about? I guess her name is tonicida Dixon. She gave you some kind of fake name.
Yeah. So what we're doing today, based on the conversation that we've had in the last couple of days, this is all new information to us. Is today we've begun an investigation to understand how her background check did not reveal that she was a felon. And if it didn't reveal that she was a felon, it's either because of one of the two things, which we're determining that the charges were pending at the time, but there still was no record of the arrest. So what that most likely means is she uses the name Yari. That's a name we've seen a lot recently, like today. Yari. That's a name that we see. tonicida Yari Dixon.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Okay, so we see that name on some documents. We want to make sure that name correlates properly with the information that represents her criminal record. That's something that's actively being understood today. I'll have answers and be able.
I don't see a Yari. I see tonicida
Dixon.
And I see looks like Denise Major Dixon. I don't know. I don't see any Yari.
I mean, her email is actually her standard email for communication is yari.dixon. That's her standard email for communication.
I see Tari.Dixon, Tari.
No, Yari. That's incorrect. If somebody that's she's somebody. That's incorrect.
I mean, I don't know if you can see this. This is a LexisNexis, but you can see. Look at all these names.
What I'm looking at is the email that we use to send her the electronic contracts.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So then, what's the name of her tax business? Do you know?
Yes, TM Originals LLC, or TM Originals Tax.
Originals. That's a tax place.
Yes, it is. I can give you I think it's 2100 South Side. I'm gonna get you the exact address right now.
Southfield.
Southfield. Yes, I'll get you the exact address in less than a second.
Yeah, that's our station is actually in Southfield. It's a suburb.
Yeah, I heard it.
Detroit.
Yeah, I heard it.
It's right north of 8 miles. So, okay, so I'm going to stop the recording now.
Done.
Anything else you want to add before we stop it?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. I appreciate your time, man. Thank you for everything. It's
Okay,
done. Just hopefully you give us a good word, though. You know, send us somebody over. All right.
Hang on for 1 second
Sure.
now. Let me stop the recording. I want to make sure I do this right.
Thank you.
Do I want to stop cloud recording? Yes. If yes, you will receive an email notification when the recording is ready. Okay, that's what I want to do.
Beautiful.
All right, so we're stopped.
Done. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll get this brought.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I mean, the office is closed. It looks like she's got a criminal record. Let me look here. I haven't done anything on this story other than Ken told me about it on Friday. I have a really big story I'm working on that is really time consuming and I kind of need something that might be easy. You know,
Quick.
I don't know if yours is going to be easy, but
Walk down the street, yeah.
yeah, you know, I mean, well, if she's in an office and I could actually just get her walking out of the office, that would make it easy for me.
Yeah, I think she's right there, and she lives nearby. I mean, we have, like I said, we have everything, and in our agreements we have a very clear disclaimer that says that we can use any means to disclose any information pertinent to any outstanding balances or the ability to recoup them. So sharing that information, that basic information, is not in any way a breach of our agreement with her in general. Because if that were the case, we wouldn't.
She's got a looks like she's got a conviction in 2007 for non-sufficient fund checks, which, let's see, 100 might be a misdemeanor. So maybe
There's a paper with her shooting up an occupied dwelling. I think that's the big one.
She's got she's on probation for that now. She pled no contest to firearms, reckless use of firearms, and domestic violence.
Wow.
So that was in 2019.
It was in the paper.
So, what do you know? And she's not on probation anymore, though.
Well, that's amazing.
Date of offense was 2019, yeah. So she just got convicted 6/3/21. So you may not have.
Like a month or two, maybe like 4 months prior. Yeah, we just missed her. Yeah, we just missed her.
Yeah. Okay. Well, she just missed. Let's hope her aim is no good.
No, oh my goodness, no. Let's hope they really they're keeping a close eye on her. That's for sure.
Nothing scares me.
Listen, yeah, I've seen the videos. Listen, I've seen it. Listen.
That's what we deal with all the time. All right. Well, so what I'll do is I'm going to send my cameraman out to go look for. Like I said, I'm working on this really big story. I got a big undercover shoot on Wednesday, and so if you want to check in with me like on Friday or so, I mean, this isn't going to happen that quick. But maybe if you just want to send me a text, on your cell phone, just text me and say, hey Rob, how's it going? And I'll say, hey, we got some video of her, or I haven't found her yet, or.
Do you want me to give you any info? I mean, I'm going to send you all the texts and all the emails and everything highlighted.
Send me any of that info. You can send it to me, or you can send it to Ken, or send it to both of us.
Sure.
I know. Well, you have my email now because I sent you that invite. Yeah. So send it to both of us, and then we'll see if we can get her and see what we can find out about her. I mean, in my opinion, what I'd like to do is, if she's got that tax office, I'd like to get video of her a few days coming and going and seeing what kind of clients.
It's a physical location. We did a check on it, but virtual. We have what we call a site inspection, but now it's virtual. So she took pictures of the inside. It's a facility. There's people inside. She has like 4 employees, I believe.
Yeah. Well, we'll like I said, it's Detroit. You never know what the hell's going to go on here.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of scam artists, but we'll find her. And so send me a text like on Friday. And I'll let you know what we're doing, and I'll see what we can do, and hopefully we can get her. And I like it.
Perfect.
I bet you we'll find out a lot of other stuff. And I know I wouldn't want to be sending my tax. I wouldn't want to have my taxes. I don't know how you can be a tax person and be on probation or even have a fraud conviction, even if it is a misdemeanor from 2007. I sure as heck wouldn't want to be giving out my social security number and how much money I earn and what deductions I have and my wife and my kids' names and all of that stuff. Sounds like a bad deal to me.
Listen, if you would shoot a gun in a position where you're in a public setting, that means you're willing to take collateral damage, and that means somebody else's life. So if you're willing to take someone else's life as collateral damage, what is their personal financial life to you when the collateral damage otherwise is you in your mind?
Well, I'm just gonna assume she was shooting at her boyfriend.
She was, I think, but in a car outside. She chased him. This is the newspaper. I mean, listen, I don't want to quote it wrong.
I haven't read the article yet. Ken printed me the article, but I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. But it certainly sounds interesting. It sounds
Yeah.
like I know you've probably never been here to Detroit, but it sounds like a nice, good old-fashioned Detroit story.
Listen, listen. The way you said that makes it feel like home. So that's all that matters. It works.
Crazy shit out here.
That's crazy.
All right, well, it was a pleasure.
My
talking to you,
pleasure.
and I'll be talking to you again.
Thank you so much.
Text later in the week, and
I
I'll let
will.
you know.
Best of luck. Thank you so much. Good luck with everything. I can't wait to see that. All right. All right. Thanks a lot.
Can't wait.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Rob. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Are my lips dry? Super dry? It's okay.